Okay, the sun is out today, amazingly. As I finish this thing up, I can show you that. See? I'm standing in front of it so that I can actually film. You know, I've done something here. This was just one piece of very thin fabric. And I placed it here and sort of cut into it just to make it so that I could, you know, maybe applique around this figure. But, you know, I've decided to just fold these flaps back. This is part of something I called inside out applique at one point. You know, it's just a departure, since I do work with ragged edges so much. I'll pull that out eventually. But I thought, you know, number one, I wanted to kind of make a pool of red here because as if she was drowning in it, this sense of sadness. And in this way, it's kind of become a sea of sadness related in color to the rain here. And I've kind of parted that sea today just to get out of it. But this is just a good example. I mean, I just wanted to say something simple here. It's just a good example of how process can be part of the story and how technique can actually describe a working method. And since I use my process as part of the story, how that becomes integrated. So this is almost as if, you know, I've opened a door here and just made a way through it. Something simple. The other thing is, this is a very thin piece of cloth here. It's very like the harem cloth I describe in a lot of my lessons and things. But it's not harem cloth. It's a very thin cloth, and I got it from somebody a long time ago, and I think I'll put a link to her in the sidebar. Oops. Because I think it's important to acknowledge those things, as small as they are. She used to dye fabric, and she sent me some, and since I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, I'm going to write it somewhere. But it did impress me, because working with thin layers like this, you can really put a lot of them down without destroying the feel of a cloth. And I, you know, as I think back, I think that this might have been the beginning of me thinking about that in a more serious way. So I've got this pinned here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew these very closely together to make them look like a seam. And I'm going to pull out some of the fringe on the bottom here to cover up this bottom part. There's so many ways to work, you know. A lot of times you can't foresee what you would like to say. That's why I break my own rules. I mean, I may have pieced this background in 3 pieces first, but I had no idea that I was going to feel this way at this point. So it's good to be able to work forwards or backwards or anywhere in between in terms of being able to compose.